Hi, I'd like to tell you the story of the boy who sold the butter. There once was a boy who lived with his mother in a cottage outside of town. Now this boy was a real noodlehead, so he did a lot of silly things. When he did all of his chores, he made a mess of everything, so his mother had decided it was better if she did most of the work. One day, she decided that she was going to take some butter to town. So she got all of her tools and she started churning the butter. And when she finished churning the butter, she packaged it up and got ready to leave. Now, the little boy really wanted to help his mother. He said to his mother, "Mother, please let me take the butter to town." And she said, "No, you have never been to town. If you go to town, you'll get lost. It's really big there." Now, the boy was sad, and he started crying and pleading with his mother to let him go. Finally, his mother gave in. She gave him the butter, she gave him a few words of advice, and sent him on his way. On his way to town, the boy found a rock in the middle of the road. Now remember, this boy is a noodlehead, so he is very silly. When he reached the rock in the road, he thought, "This rock is very big, and my mother has said that town is very big, so maybe this is town." He walked up to the rock and he said, "Hello, town. Would you like to buy some of my mother's delicious butter?" And of course, the rock didn't respond. The boy thought about his mother's advice and he said, "My mother says some of the smartest people will not buy anything without trying it, so would you like to try my mother's butter?" He scooped a big handful of the butter out of the dish and smeared it all on the outside of the rock. It melted quickly because it was really hot that day. The boy waited, but when the rock didn't pay him, he said, "I know you really enjoyed my mother's delicious butter. If you would pay me, I would be happy to sell you the rest of the butter." Still, the rock said nothing. The boy thought about his mother's advice, and he said, "My mother has told me that the smartest people are often use the fewest words. I know you enjoyed my butter, so I will give you the rest of it, and then you can pay me afterwards." He took the rest of the butter, he smeared it all over the rock, and it quickly melted. Now, the boy waited for the rock to pay him, but when it didn't, he got really upset. He said, "Town, I need you to pay me my money so I can go back to my mother." When the town didn't pay him, he got really upset. He started pushing and shoving the rock. He started yelling and screaming at it. And finally, he pushed the rock so hard that it rolled over. And underneath the rock, there was a hole, and in that hole was a pot of gold. Now, the boy was such a noodlehead that he didn't realize his good fortune. He took out the pot of gold, he thanked the rock, and he walked home to his mother. And they lived happily ever after. And that is the story of the boy who sold the butter. And this story is from the collection of stories called Noodlehead Stories, World Tales Kids Can Read and Tell. Thank you.